Hello and welcome back to the Tipsy Beekeeper, where I do urban beekeeping, winemaking, and mead making. This is some of my homemade, call it dime wine. This is just straight up grape juice. That's fantastic. This is like my go-to. So what I'm doing today is a little bit different than I normally do. And the fact of I'm going to be a little bit more specific to try and show you guys how the alcohol content comes out in my wine. Normally I just I pour my sugar in, pour my yeast in, put a balloon on it, and I'm done with it. Because I know that these Red Star packages come back with the maximum they can do is 15 to 18% alcohol. This form of yeast just can't produce anything more than that. But I want to show you how it's actually read up and actually done. So first off, you got to get yourself a hydrometer. It measures specific gravity and all of that. I don't know, that's all sciencey. That's like, you know, science rocket stuff. But first, we're going to start off with just a regular old thing of Juicy Juice fruit punch, all natural, no sugar added juice. And we're going to get a reading off of that, and I can tell you roundabout what our alcohol content will be. Too much. Okay, so the yeast goes in here and eats all the sugar. But this is a no sugar added, just straight up juice. So there's no extra sugar added. So that is about 5%. No, 6, 7. About 7%. So with no sugar added to this, the most alcohol that you could get out of this is about 7%. So not too bad. Okay, so now that we know the potential alcohol with it just by its normal self being about 6 or 7%, which is like a strong beer, not bad. What we're going to do is add sugar to this. So I need to get a little bit out of the container. Because I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar to this and mix it up really, really good. The hydrometer has a measuring side on it of approximate, and then it can get more exact. What I'm going to do is take the reading of the exact, and you take that reading, and then when you're done fermenting, you take another measurement, and you put those 2 readings in a calculator that you can find online. Just Google alcohol content calculator, and it'll tell you what the exact alcohol ratio is. Our bubbles settle down just a little bit, and I'm gonna have ants all over the place. I got sugar everywhere. So hydrometer in. This now says the potential alcohol could be up to 10%. So according to this, like I said, we could have up to 10% alcohol, but this yeast does up to 15%. So if we want to get to that 15%, we should probably have to add more sugar, at least according to the specifics of everything. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is add the yeast to this, and we're going to let it ferment for 2 weeks, and then we're going to come back and check this again. Now, I took the specific gravity reading, which came out to 1.073. Or 72. 1.072. I'm going to write that down right now. 1.072. So 2 weeks from now, after it's done or set for fermenting for 2 weeks, I'm going to come back and take another reading, and then I can put those two readings in the calculation, and we'll get the exact amount of alcohol that is in this wine. And it's my fruit punch wine. So, okay, so we got our sugar. Now time for our yeast. I'm also going to actually measure my yeast out this time. Most of the time I just kind of dump what I feel in there is good. But I want to, since we're being a little bit more specific, I'm using 1/4 tablespoon of my Red Star yeast. Just fill it right up. Dump it in. See, to me, that's a little bit less than I normally put in my personal feelings. So we'll see what it does in 2 weeks. See how it reacts. As normal, give it a once up and down. You'll just get that yeast moving around a little bit, get it growing. My standard Dollar Tree balloon. Poke right through, so it's got technically 2 holes in it. Oh, almost forgot. I wanted to try something a little bit different. I've been putting cinnamon sticks in my wine, just trying it out, just trying to like zazz up the flavor a little bit. And I think it's been working, especially with stuff that's real fruity. So today I'm going to go with 2 cinnamon sticks. So not a lot, and I'm not going for like a whole bunch of cinnamon flavor, but just something to zazz it up a little bit. Our balloon goes on. And we'll come back and check it in 2 weeks. So, till 2 weeks from the Tipsy Beekeeper, bottoms up. Here we are about 3.5 weeks later. I ended up letting it ferment a little bit longer because we got some cold spells here. And what would end up happening is one day the balloon would be staying straight up, and then we'd get a nice little cold snap, and it would get cold in the house, and the yeast would calm down, and then up and down and up and down. So I gave it a little bit longer just to make sure it got some decent fermenting time. But now the balloon won't come up at all, so that means it's done fermenting. So we're going to start off with a little taste test to see if I can't guess exactly how much alcohol is in here. Whew, you can smell it strong. Good, I like it. Could use a little bit more fruitiness to it, which if I came back and added a little bit more regular juice to it, it would get that. But I'm gonna go with an alcohol content. I'm gonna go like 9%, because I just didn't have that much sugar in there. I don't think it quite got to that 10 or 11% that we were shooting for. But let's find out. So all we gotta do is fill this up. Trying not to make a mess. And I think I put too much. Nope. That worked out. Here's our gravity read. Say we're about a 1.0. Okay, so according to the reading that I'm just now taking, our specific gravity is at 0.999. We started off with a specific gravity of 1.072. Plug it into your calculator, which you can just Google hydrometer calculator, and there's tons of them online. So with the beginning gravity of 1.072, a final gravity of 0.999, our alcohol content is 9.58%, which is not bad. That's pretty good. What did I say? I said we were about 8-9%. So I'm probably gonna start adding a little bit more sugar because I don't get as much of the sweetness. This one's actually definitely a little bit drier. It's really good. It could use a little bit more fruitiness to it, which I'm going to start aging them. This one did have the cinnamon stick in it, but I'm going to start, after I kill the yeast off in it, adding berries to it. So that'll be an upcoming video. Next step is, like you see in all my other videos, I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of the yeast killer, which I'm not even going to pronounce it because everybody knows I don't know how to pronounce it. But put it in my bottle, let it set for 24 hours, and bam, I got 1 gallon of really nice drinking wine for less than $5 with an alcohol content of 9.58%. So from the Tipsy Beekeeper, till next time, bottoms up.